guys, here is our setup. I have a mock-up radiator which I was using to design the brackets that hold on the fans to the radiator. Nothing too extravagant, pretty simple, but then it just bolts on there and there, there and there. Now it also hooks on, like right here, and those hooks are pretty good. We have our wire figured out and wrapped. Now you need the fans to be blowing this direction, okay? All you gotta do is hook up a positive and negative to here and figure out which direction is this direction, which positive and negative. If I remember, see if I can remember, positive is on the left side as you look at the plug and disconnect it for both fans. Now they look like they're different shapes and flip different ways. They both go that way with the positive on the left side. Then we have both of our leads. Now remember in the diagram how we set this up. And it all runs to our relay boxes, which I got 40 amp, relays. This isn't the actual wire I'm using, I just put it there as a place marker. But I did get this fuse panel with 40 amp fuses. And then we have our little bitty wires. One for our 12 volt turn on lead and our temperature sensor switch. This just grounds out whenever it gets to the right temperature. Now we need to go ahead and remove our fan clutch, and our shroud. And I'm going to remove all of our worm clamps here, which aren't very good. I kind of did a dummy and put worm clamps on silicone hoses. That doesn't work really well because they're silicone, so you have to use the constant pressure clamps that come with the truck. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So I went ahead and removed the washer fluid reservoir. It's going to give us access. There's a bolt here, and a bolt up here. And that's going to give us all our access for our wiring, tucking, and all that, and to go to the battery. Now the 12 volt turn on wire, we can run that in the cab somewhere. But the coolant sensor switch, well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get underneath there and find the correct spot. But there's an Allen head plug that goes into the coolant port that we're just going to be able to screw in our sensor, and that'll be that. Basically making this a plug and play kit. You screw in the sensor, you plug it in, you route the wire so it doesn't get melted. You route the 12 volt turn on, right? Then you mount your relays somewhere. You plug into your battery, positive. all that then gets grounded, and we're probably going to use this factory ground right here, and then all of this gets replaced with electric. Now, one of the reasons that doing this is so popular is because getting rid of all this crap and going with electric fans frees up about 30 horsepower. And I'm like, 30 horsepower? Holy crap, we gotta try that. So, we got the stuff and we're gonna do it. So, let's get to work. We need to go ahead and take the fan shroud out and take our fans off the engine and get this area here kind of cleaned up. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and drain the coolant and replace our coolant hoses, clamps and such. So there you go. Alright guys, so if you come to the driver's side and peek down, now it's gonna be real hard to see, but right there under the manifold, if you zoom in, is an Allen head pipe thread plug. Now you can undo that and literally put the coolant sensor in right there. But if you still have coolant in it, you got to be quick because it's going to pour out. Otherwise, you just got to let all the coolant out. Now, because I want to fix my hose clamp issue anyways, we're just going to go ahead and drain all the coolant out. So let's get to work on that. Just like that, we have everything removed. Fan shroud, fan clutch. Now, if you are looking at the fan clutch and it's spinning on you and you're like, well, how the hell do I get that thing off? It's very simple. So this is your fan clutch, right? Now if you spin it and look, there's a lot of marks right there, right? Well, all you have to do is get a pry bar or chisel, big old giant screwdriver, and put it right there on the edge of that peak and kind of hit it with a hammer. Whack! And it will literally loosen it just a little bit, and then you can spin it the rest of the way off. It's gonna look real clean without all that crap under there. Let's get the cooling fan installed. I'll show you the bracket more in depth. Okay, so on the bracket, it's just a simple piece that kind of mimics going into there, right? So it has to go around that, come up, and you want it to block off the parts that the shroud don't cover. I have a little bit of gap here. I'm not going to worry about that unless it becomes an issue, and that's where it slots in. See, pretty simple. That's not too bad looking, huh guys? Lots of room. Alright, it's coming along nicely. Alright guys, so this is how it pretty much lays out. So your power will come off of your fans, and I kind of put mine down there, tucked it away. Now all of this is going to get hidden by the washer reservoir. This is our ground, and I I'll tuck all this and make it look clean, but it pretty much goes up and tucks in behind. And our relays already ironically have studs for them, so that's perfect. And then the rest of this stuff is just gonna go where it needs to go. Pretty simple, if you ask me. Alright guys, so we got this area here all cleaned up and looking nice. We can start running our wiring and getting things tidied up. Okay, so as you can see, we got her torn down a little bit. Sneak peek, future episode, power steering upgrade. And we're right in the middle of our electric fan upgrade. And I wanted to just make a little video of what we're doing right now. So my throttle body, it's kind of jacked up, and so is my wiring. Also, my wiring from my alternator is messed up. So we're going to be doing some wiring. We're going to fix this mess. I got some new pieces that will go on to what we got, and little fuse holder things, and the caps. Don't forget the caps. We got our new wiring pieces here ready to go. So I'll just set you up on a little time lapse, and we'll see what would be the best view for you guys.
One hour later.
But we're getting pretty far. Ideally, I'd like to be able to hide all these wires, but you just can't hide them. Alright, so our wiring is fixed, right? Now, the thing, I don't know, it didn't really run very good. It was at this time I realized that we need to take the heads off, and we need to replace them with the PI heads. The PI heads are a more performance-oriented head, and that will allow us to do more things in the future, like a supercharger upgrade, etc., etc. We will have to maybe get another aluminum intake until then, but I think it's time to start tearing down the heads. We might not do it in this video, but we'll get pretty far. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna have to do is take off our belt and take off our power steering pump down there. That's gonna free up a little bit of room, and I probably ought to drain the reservoir. We'll think about it. We're gonna try this setup. Hopefully it works. So, gotta get our belt off. It's a 1/2 inch, some bitch. I think our serpentine belt was a little worse for wear. Yeah, we definitely needed a new serpentine belt. It's pretty bad. Now so this guy is supposed to be held on right there, None of this is held on correctly. Let's take all this shit off and then take our power steering pump off. Trying to not make a mess, but we're getting there. Just slowly pick at it. One cool thing is I got my seats mounted, looking pretty good. And just like that, we have our intake off. It wasn't too difficult, a series of 8s and 10s and finagling your fingers, but you get your wiring harness out of the way, it's pretty easy. These are the heads that we're going to be getting, the PI heads. Notice that the open ports on the intakes are more square shaped than oval or round. This will ultimately help us eventually move into this supercharger era. Helleanor will be boosted somehow, so why not just upgrade to the supercharger? I think this is going to be a pretty cool little endeavor. Yeah.